Man, welcome back to Stream of Thought. We're on the 4-4 for the big 3-0.
4-4 for the big 3-0, meaning episode 44, and Rix is 30 today.
Yeah, getting way too old for this shit.
Happy birthday!
And we start off by talking about Victor's pants, of all things, and the the challenges of finding somebody who's not going to completely destroy your pants.
Alterations is completely appropriate, but it's not done in the traditional sense, so get a listen for that.
And then we twist and turn through the conversation to come to where do we go next in that?
I don't recall. You took the reins on that.
We covered jury duty for a little bit.
Oh yeah, jury duty.
And talked about the experience. Victor's never served on jury duty. This was my first time serving on jury duty. What was it like? It was an interesting experience, I would say. And then we sort of wiggle into some shadier topics. We talk about
kind of just like what's been going on in the country.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we follow that trajectory of morality where we talk about the legal system and then this transition into some of the Me Too stuff that's been going on, which is, wow, fast, powerful, really worth a listen.
So episode number 44, Stream of Thought. We hope you enjoy.
If anything, just listen for my birthday.
Off. Happy birthday!
Thanks, man. The big 3-0.
The big 3-0. And
I don't know how I feel about that.
So, what did you do today?
Today it was a pretty chill day, I have to say, for a Sunday. Ended up getting up kind of early, going back to bed for a couple hours. Finally, actually getting up at around 10 o'clock, spending time with the family, and then ended up mowing the lawn, getting all those leaves up. Sense of accomplishment. Listen to the Sunday morning talk shows on my podcast, and yeah, it was pretty nice. And then ended up just getting back from dinner at B-Dubs.
Nice.
Some fried pickles, mozzarella sticks, boneless wings. Oh, it's been a while since I've had B-Dubs.
So I've been waiting for this day for several months now.
You've been waiting for this day,
and the reason for that is because I have something for you.
Oh.
Now, when I got this, I thought of you, and I was like, oh, this would be a nice little gift for Rix. And I hadn't really needed it because I got this for myself, too. And then the other day, I ran out, and I almost thought to myself, like, well, I can just dip into this. I'm like, no, you're only a few days away from Rix's birthday. Don't fuck this up, Victor. But this is something that we talked about in one of our first few episodes. I want to say, like, for some reason, I just think of episode 5. I don't know why. But...
Oh, that is freaking hilarious. This is some awesome, cool tech gear running socks.
These are the best athletic socks you will ever wear. And the reason that I got you those, for people who don't understand, is because in one of the first few episodes, one of the things that you mentioned were your disintegrating socks.
Yeah.
And them just
one of those
falling,
disintegrating socks on right now.
Disintegrating socks. And they were falling apart and everything. And I remember, like, these guys that I wear, I somehow came across them.
That is awesome.
And they're
just
really
goodness.
awesome because you can wear them
so cool.
You can wear them the entire day and your feet are dry when you take the socks off.
And what is this orange mesh stuff?
I don't know. So the mesh is new. When I went back there to buy another pair for myself, they started including this in the socks. It's just like this little bag.
Yeah.
Like a drawstring bag.
Little tote bag.
But these are, no joke, the softest, most comfortable athletic socks you will ever wear. They're super breathable, and like I said, they keep your feet dry all day long.
Oh my goodness.
And the other day, I was out of socks. I was out of socks, and I almost thought to myself, well, should I do laundry?
See if you could sneak out a pair?
Or just sneak out a pair?
Yeah.
Like, no, hold on to it.
Oh, thank you.
On.
Man, you know the desires of my heart so well. Wow, that seriously is such a meanuful gift. Thank you.
Trust me, these socks are going to change your life.
Wow. Yeah. This is awesome.
You're
You
gonna-
can never
Dude,
have too
put
much
them
socks.
on.
And I'm
Put a pair on right
All right,
now.
you know
put
what?
a pair on right
We'll see
now,
how this
and then
goes.
I want you to talk about it on the next episode.
all right. All right.
And then the other thing I want to mention, because you just jogged my memory, I have something else in this bag for us to discuss.
Uh-huh.
But I'll bring that out in a minute.
Oh man, this is
But
like the mystery.
You mentioned when
Science theater.
you mowed your lawn today. I was driving home today from work, and I see this like figure moving at the corner when I'm driving up, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what is this guy doing? This guy is doing yard work, and it's completely dark outside. And it's like 30 degrees outside, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell? And I see like a light, and I'm like, is that a flashlight? No, this motherfucker is putting like leaves or grass into like a paper yard bag.
Yeah.
And then I see, as I'm turning the corner, the light are like these headlights on his lawnmower. Are you mowing your fucking lawn in the middle of the, well, not in the middle of the night, but is it completely dark outside? And
Taking
it's cold.
it
I'm like,
off-roading
what is
a
this
little
guy
bit?
doing? It's like, what? And then I realized, oh, it is, like, it's only 5:30. This would be a completely acceptable
Yeah,
thing
under
to do,
normal in the summer
in
or
the
something like
summer or
that.
something
Absolutely.
like that. But I just thought it was so jarring. I'm just like, what is this guy doing? And the thing that I found the weirdest was they sell lawnmowers with headlights on them.
Yeah,
What?
I think so. I think that's a
Snowblowers,
that's a
I
normal thing.
understand. Lawnmowers.
I think so. I mean, why not?
This guy's
really.
taking yard work to a new level.
Dude, that's some dedication right there
I
to
mean,
your yard gear.
yeah.
If you're gonna be doing it at after the sun sets.
Right.
Well, dude, I mean, you know how big of a yard I have to mow.
Yes.
It's like 3/4 of an acre, and all I have is a push mower. So when the leaves come down like I did today, you got to do two rows back and forth
Yeah.
to get the leaves up, and it probably took me about 2.5 hours to
Wow.
end up doing it. But these socks are awesome, by the way.
Right?
They are
I was waiting for you to say
they are so
something.
comfortable. I was waiting for a break. Yeah,
They get
this
better.
is nice, man. I am so excited to take these out for a test run.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do that. What I would do is like only maybe wear 2 pairs and save 1 pair for when like these ones start getting like older, and then put on like a nice fresh pair.
I got to find a good place to store them so that they don't disappear, because I feel as though I always set
They
a couple of
disappear. We talked
yeah,
about this.
exactly. No, but even when I set a new pair, get a new pair, I'll set a pair or two aside, and those will disappear somehow. I'll never wear them, but they'll just be gone. It's the craziest
These
thing.
things are constantly, I think, at Kohl's on Butterfield and Finley, like buy one get one half off.
Wow.
Like, all the time.
Wow. Well,
Got
thank
a
you,
nice
Victor.
drawstring
That
bag.
is-
You can throw some
this
rocks in
is-
there. In the middle of
man.
Summer.
I can,
Like that one year.
That's right. Wow.
But yeah,
That is too
Fun
nice,
stuff.
man. Thank you.
you're welcome. The other thing that I have on my mind now, okay, so I went to the cleaners the other day for them to do some stitching on my pants. Now, the pants that I have, one pair, I had gotten like a rip in the back,
Yeah.
right above the pocket, and I got it fixed, and I'm going to show this to you. So this is the stitching of the first pair of pants. And I'll tell you, I was completely satisfied with the work that was done, okay? There was a hole there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I tried patching it up. It didn't work, but you can see like that's totally acceptable.
It's discreet. Yeah.
Yes, it's discreet, and you can tell it's a little more durable, and that's the inside.
Oh, okay.
Totally normal.
Yeah.
And even I will say, because this is the back above the left pocket, so above my butt. Even if it were on the front, I would still go out in public. with those
It looks like
pants.
maybe you just rubbed a stone across it or
Right?
something like that.
I would
just a
still
little,
go out
little
in
frame.
public with those pants.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, what does that tell you about the next pair of pants?
Means we're in for a treat.
Yes. It means we're in for a treat. If I said I would go out in public with those pants, it means these pants I would not go out in public with. Now, these pants I use pretty much all the time for just... Now, these pants that I have are Old Navy. They can be worn anywhere, right? I pretty much just use this one pair for the one that I'm about to show you up next only for work because they just got so fucked up. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't really wear these out anymore. And now they're even more fucked up. So, same thing. Now, keep in mind, this is a different place because I went back to the place that I got the first pair done, and they're like, oh, we don't do this anymore. I'm like, really?
How long was the
A few
Time
months,
difference.
A few months.
Wow, so they stopped doing it
Yeah.
in that period. Huh.
So I go to none other than Organic Cleaners at Pickwick Plaza, right next door to my favorite dentist office. Not. Okay?
Is this the one on Roosevelt
Yeah.
by the Bennies?
Yeah. So what I'm about to show you might scare... I tried to say scare and startle at the same time. Scare you. Okay.
Startled.
So I'm going to show this to you again.
Yep.
All right. And if you could just go ahead and describe that so it paints a picture for our listeners. This is the first pair of pants again.
Yeah, first pair. You've got what looks like kind of a hole that ended up forming, but it's stitched up really well. It's stitched up in a way that really it looks like if you had jean material and rubbed a stone on it, it looks like it's a little bit frayed, like maybe you slid on your butt something.
Right.
But totally unnoticeable. The gray threads blend in with the gray color.
Yep.
It's very, very indiscreet, and it's very well done.
Okay.
Durable, yeah.
I'm not going to say anything about this. I'm just going to show it to you. Just start talking. Just start talking. Just start talking.
So what I'm seeing right now is I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at.
If a clown was a person that worked at a dry cleaners, this is what
this looks like. The inventors of Candyland decided to go into patching because it's just a maze design that's probably the size of my palm for looks like what a hole about the size of 2 pennies.
Yes.
And they decided to make a patch the size of about 10 times the size.
So what we have here
Holy cow.
Just ridiculous. So the best way to describe it is in the center you can see
it's a similar patch.
It is the exact same almost as the first pair,
which would be indiscreet in itself
with the stitching.
But then coming out of it,
if you were to, for example, okay, the best way for it to be described without using too many words, it's like one of those old-fashioned lollipops. You know what I'm saying? Where, like, if you were to, where it's like one piece curled together, you know, like this motion. I don't know.
The easiest way to describe it is as a children's map.
Yes.
Like a map that they have where it's just a spiral inward. It's massive
square.
It's a square spiral inward.
It's like if you're playing the game Snake and you have like it's the longest it could be on the cell phone, and you have one piece of food in the center, and the snake is so damn long you have to go on the outside borders.
Oh, yes, when you have to
continue to work your way inward. Yeah. That is what this looks like.
So it's about maybe 1.5 inches by 1/4 of an inch.
Same exact size as this first patch.
And they extended the patch to about 5 inches by 3.5 inches.
Correct.
So it's literally maybe 10 times the size of what the actual original hole looks like.
I don't understand why they felt the need to do that. Because if you look on the inside... Why?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Why do you need to do... All you need to do is just cover that 1/2 inch to inch by 1/4 inch. There is no need to make it look like some fucking ancient civilization rock pattern that you can see from the airplane.
I don't know how... I mean, realistically...
There's two of them. And there's fucking 2 of them.
Yes, there's a second one that's even smaller, but the patch itself is probably larger.
Yeah.
Because this second one is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, and the patch is probably about 5 by 5.
Yep.
That's insane.
That is insane.
I mean, really, looking at this, I don't know how somebody who's patching this would expect anybody to wear this material.
Nope.
I could do better than this.
Nope.
I could seriously stitch this up better. How much did it cost you?
I was about to tell you. How much do you think it cost?
What's the place called? Organic
some
patching or something like that?
Plaza, yeah.
I would guess it cost you $35.
Ooh, that is a good guess. It cost $24.
$24?
So going into this, I thought I'll totally pay that. I made the assumption that it would be just like this.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine with me. I could have bought a brand new pair of pants for that price.
Yes. Yeah. You could have, and with you definitely.
Because these, I mean, Old Navy they make any excuse to have a sale, which is, I think I got these 2 for probably $25, or like bought one for 30, bought the other for 15 or some shit like that.
I mean, I have to tell you, man, if these were my pants, I would be infuriated. Yep. I really would go back and say, what is this? You ruined my pants. I mean, they were kind of acceptable when they had the hole in them, but you just totally destroyed my pants.
See, and that side of me is non-confrontational in that manner, which is weird because I can be very confrontational in certain instances, but in others, I just hold my tongue and I don't care to make a big deal out of certain things, but others I'll totally make a big deal out of little things.
Yeah.
When people are being dumbasses or something like that. But yeah. So that's what happened. And I thought to myself, oh, because when they give this to you, they're on the hanger and they got the plastic over them, right? So like, I'm not gonna be an asshole and like inspect this, you know what I'm saying, in front of them. I bring it home, I look at it, and I thought to myself at first, like, well, they're just work pants. And then I thought, no, I'm not even wearing these. I'm not even wearing these at work. It looks so ridiculous.
Yeah. It looks like you have tattoos on your pants.
You know what I'm gonna do? Oh, I don't think they're big enough. I wonder if I don't think they would have an Instagram account, but if I take a picture and just bitch about this,
You should do that.
you know?
Why not?
I'll put it on Yelp. Yeah, I'm gonna do that for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and my attitude is it's important to be able to give a review about something like that because you want other people to avoid having to walk into the same situation. Because if that's the way that they're patching all of their pants, that's totally unacceptable.
Yeah.
There's no way they should still be in business if that's their model of repairing. I mean, that is absurd. That truly is absurd. I've never seen anything like that.
And I prepaid because you get like $5 or 20% off, or I don't know what it is if you just prepay before
That's where they get you.
And had I not prepaid, I probably would have. Well, I still wouldn't have inspected the pants. But now, you know what though? Lesson learned.
Learning experience.
Yep,
Absolutely.
Learning experience.
But wow, $24. Yeah, you could have bought another pair of pants that exact type.
I'll go on Yelp and take a picture and
just be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, what is this? What are you guys doing?
And sometimes good companies will actually respond to people on Yelp and try to resolve their issues, but you'll find out pretty quickly because there are other bad businesses that go on and attack Yelpers and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is state of the art.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I can't fucking wear this.
Yeah.
Totally unacceptable. Wow.
That happened last week.
That's quite the show and tell, man.
Show and tell.
So how was your third performance? Was there a change from yesterday?
So third performance was yesterday.
So we had the first performance, which was you thought was pretty favorable. People were laughing, that sort of thing. Last week, kinda on ice. The audience wasn't buying it, and you guys were wondering what was going on. This week, what was there a happy middle or?
It was better. Yeah, It was way better. Way more audience response, and it was a good show.
Was it?
Yeah.
Were people laughing at unusual points?
No,
or
they were
was
laughing
it
where they should have and everything. Everyone was having a good time. And it's weird because I go up and my scene starts and the light goes on and I'm like, don't fuck this up. Only say half the line. Because remember how last time I'm supposed to share this line with my scene partner. The light goes up and I say my line, and for some reason, I don't know why, like, I deliver the first line and that's fine. And then I have the little monologues in between, remember? For some reason, during those monologues, my heart was just beating out of my chest. I was so nervous.
Really?
The first show, I was pretty nervous because it was like my first time doing a show.
Yeah.
The second show, I was fine. You know, I had a little bit, not really nerves, but it's like, okay, second one, and it was just totally cool. This time, I'm just like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I know all the lines.
Yeah.
But when I'm up there, I'm thinking of like, don't fuck this up. I don't know why that happened.
Overthinking.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
I don't know why that happened, but it was cool. I got all the lines out and everything that I was supposed to, and I hit the marks and everything, and the performance was fine. But for some weird reason, I was just like more anxious than I was the first time doing it.
Yeah, that can totally happen.
But yeah, good show. And then it was funny because, of course, any opportunity to talk about pretty girls, I'm going to take it. I'm standing
Oh my goodness.
in the skybox. When you walk in, you see, there's a wall when you walk in, and then you either go to the left or the right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm behind that wall with some people because there's not enough room backstage when we all come out as each scene to, shake or hold hands and bow and everything. And so I'm standing there, and there's this employee who's wearing a Second City shirt, and she's sitting there. I don't know why she was sitting there. I don't know if, maybe she was the stage manager, if she was just had some time to kill and just walked in to see. I don't know why. I don't know why she was sitting there. But she was so pretty. She was so pretty. But the good news is, then I had to go up and because I saw her there while the last scene was going on, but I can't just go up and talk to her while the middle of the scene is going on. You know what I'm saying? And then it's over, and then the people start coming on each scene to bow, and then I go up, and then we go backstage, and then I didn't see her anywhere. But the good news is I'm at Second City enough times where maybe I'll run into her again. It's
inevitable.
And say,
small community.
You were at my show.
Hey, you.
Yeah. But I just had to get that off my chest.
Totally
Saw
understandable.
A super pretty girl. But yeah, the show went well, and hung out afterwards for 45 minutes, and then went home.
Called it a night.
Yeah.
Nice. So we didn't get a chance to talk because we spent so much time on the last episode about my courtroom shenanigans, let's say. I had jury duty 2 days later. So I had my court case on Monday.
Yeah,
and then I had jury duty on Wednesday.
Tell me about jury duty.
Jury duty was interesting.
Okay.
So you've never been to jury duty, right?
Never had that.
You've never.
Hope I never have to
called.
do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all in the luck of the cards, right? And so I got this a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, okay, cool, interesting. But then of course the day arrives and it's raining like crap out, and I have to bike to the courthouse, which is approximately 6 miles away.
Okay.
And so I have to go through this, pouring rain and all that. So that was not fun. But I ended up getting there, and I have to say though, there was a weird, maybe it was a good half an hour where I was just reflecting on the irony of the situation that I was walking into. For the past 2 years, I've had all these legal issues. I've been on the receiving end of the butt of justice time and time again, and I have been the one who the law has frowned upon. And so we come to this point where I've gone from an object of the law to an agent of the law as a potential prospective juror. I walk in there, I'm able to bring my phone in, I'm able to, walk freely around. It's just this sense of you are one of the good guys. You walk in and people see that juror badge on you, and they're like, "Oh, hi, how's it going?" Smiles and handshakes all around. The people who work at the courthouse, so polite to jurors, so nice to jurors. And it was such a different experience. It was such a radical transformation of the experience that it was like, wow, I mean, this is surreal. This is surreal of all the negative experiences I've had at that fucking courthouse these past 2.5 years. To go in and be like, this is the culmination of everything, where the tables have turned. I've been working my own recovery program to live a better, more authentic and good life. And it's just crazy how you have those moments of realization, like, look how far I've come in this period of time, and just an appreciation. I mean, and for me, it's an appreciation, like a thankfulness to God for me, of just giving me this opportunity for redemption. And it's it's something that I never would have thought possible to even come to that point where I look forward to jury duty. It's this is a cool thing. And so we get there, or I get there, and I'm on time. I'm actually on time, and we're supposed to check in at 9:15. They lock the doors at 9:30. I'm there like 9:14, so I'm there early. Check in, and the jury, it's what's it called? The jury commission. It's this huge room, and I don't know if you know much about the courthouse, but it's a bunch of rectangular buildings around a campus area. But there's one area where it overlooks the kind of pond lake little thing overlooking the courthouse, and it's very nice. It's very well furnished. They have
snacks?
power outlets all over the place. Well, free pop and coffee.
Nice.
They don't have snacks. You have to pay for food yourself. But plush chairs, TVs all over the place, workstations, basically anything that you could possibly need. And it was a very nice, comfortable ambient. And walk in, like, oh, cool. Well, I texted my sister because she had jury duty maybe a month ago. I'm like, how long does it last? How long does jury duty last? How long would you think jury duty? You walk in, you say whether or not you get selected. Let's say you don't get selected for a jury for sitting on a jury. You get in at 9:15. How, off of your initial impression, how long do you think that you
just
be there?
This is for the selection process?
Yeah, I mean, you get called to jury duty, and you figure you have one of two outcomes, right? You're either selected for a jury, in which you're probably there all day, right? And for the next couple of days or however long the case lasts, or you're not, and you're dismissed.
And you're saying if you're not. So you're waiting
So I'm thinking with my own, as a former pastor, first of all, with my...
I'm just going to say 6 hours.
6 hours? Yeah, it was about 7 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, of literally doing nothing. And so here's how it went. So you check in at 9:30. The TVs all around the area go on, and they're like, "We have this instructional video for you," and it's this video that's made in like the 1970s. It's still in the box frame, so it's
the 4:3 ratio.
The 4:3 ratio, and it's got this patriotic like music behind it, like. You are participating in. You are about to participate in one of the greatest democratic processes this country has to offer.
Yeah.
You should be excited about jury duty because this is one of the coolest things that we have in this country. And it shows this smiling man walking in, handing his jury badge to the person to the person at the counter, sitting down and being like, "I'm ready." And so it goes through the process of what to expect and all that. Everyone's smiling, and the judge before the bench trial is just smiling, pointing, gesturing, over exaggerating gestures to the jury. It's very melodramatic, instructional video that you might have in driver's ed or something like that. And that finishes, and then they say,
how long was that video?
That video was maybe about 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And so it wasn't a super long video. And they finish with that. And then they start calling numbers, and they say, if we call your jury number, come and line up to the front. And so they call the first wave, and I'm called in that first wave. My number is up. There's maybe a dozen. No, there's 16 of us who end up going up there. And I'm like, oh, wow. Jury is 12 people, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's only 4 people who are going to be dismissed unless they do an alternate. So maybe 3 people that don't end up becoming jury members. That's weird. I mean, that seems like a small amount of people to interview for jury. I would have assumed there would be 30 people, and they wade through and do that. So they take us to the courtroom, which ironically is the courtroom right across from the one that I had to deal with for the longest time. So that was also one of those moments of just like, wow, this is very weird. And we get in, and the judge explains, we're only selecting 6 of you for the jury. So it was a 6-person jury with 1 alternate, which I'd never heard of before. Mm-hmm. But apparently that's a thing. I don't really follow it too closely. But you have to fill out this bio form that basically answers questions like, do you have any relatives, or are you yourself, or have ever been a member of law enforcement?
Are you left-handed? Yes. You're out of here.
You're out of here. And it's just questions like, have you ever been convicted of a crime? Have you ever been the victim of a crime? Have you ever known someone to be a victim of a crime? So it's just like check yes or no.
Have you ever had sex in exchange for drugs or money?
Yeah, exactly.
Like on the blood test.
Yeah.
On the blood donation thing.
I haven't donated blood in years. And I'm thinking to myself, I basically checked yes for all of them. Yeah. I know someone who's been the victim of a crime. I've committed a crime as that sort of thing.
I've been a victim of a crime. I've been a victim.
I have committed crimes. I know people in law enforcement. So I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is going to be so uncomfortable, because they call it the first 6 people, and the judge reads them the sort of standard questions. Do you believe that you can be impartial? Will you not regard the testimony of a police officer any higher than that of a normal person? Which the correct answer is yes. You should not elevate the word of a police officer above that of anyone else. You should be equally skeptical of a police officer as you are of any other person who testifies. And so the judge reads through the questions of the first group of 6 jurors who are sitting there, and that takes probably a good 45 minutes. 45 minutes to ask every single one of those questions. There were maybe 6 questions that were asked repeatedly to each of the 6 jurors. And so each juror took maybe 10 minutes to get through, 8 to 10 minutes to get through. Yeah. And then the prosecution gets up and is allowed to ask personal questions about each of the jurors. Like, oh, I see that you checked that you were a victim of a crime. What happened? Or I see you committed a crime. What happened? And they were very invasive questions. And the prosecuting attorney, by the way, both of the prosecutors and both of the defense attorneys were women. It was a litigation team of all women, which was kind of cool to see.
Was the judge a woman?
The judge was a man.
Okay.
With a crazy long beard. It was kind of cool. And so they're asking these questions, but the prosecuting attorney who's asking the questions is just so unsympathetic, like, oh, so you have 3 kids? It's like, yeah. It's like, well, what do they do now? It's like law school, teacher, professor. Oh, you must be really proud of them. And just like this sort of monotone, like, I'm trying to pretend to empathize with you, but I really don't care. I'm just looking for answers to my questions.
Yeah.
It's like, don't even pretend to be friendly if all you're doing is going to be a fake, person. And they get through that. Then the prosecution strikes 3 of those 6 people, and they call up another 3 people, have to go through the same thing again. So that's another 20 minutes of the judge's questions, and then another 20 minutes of the prosecution's questions. Okay. And then one of those 3 alternates that come, this is when it starts to get really weird. Yeah. One of the first one who comes up, so of the 3 alternates who come up, everyone's pretty normal. They get to the last guy, and the judge asks them the question, do you believe that you can be impartial? And he's like, I don't think I can be impartial. It's like, wait, why not? And he says, well, I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. I've been sober for 20 years, but 20 years ago, I had an encounter with a cop that said that I was doing a drug deal, and he said he saw me do it, but he definitely didn't see me do it because I was in my apartment at the time, so he was definitely lying, which means I don't think I can be impartial. And the judge is like, well, wait just a second. So doesn't your skepticism of the testimony of a police officer make you more appropriate to be a juror because you will be, if not anything, more skeptical of this person's testimony? He's like, oh, I guess so. And you could see at that moment, he was trying to say things to get him out of jury duty. He was trying to, to say the things like, I don't think I can be impartial, so I guess I can't be a juror. Yeah. And the judge was just like, no, that actually makes you a better candidate for a juror. And he's like, well, I have some kids, and it would be just really inconvenient to have to do a court case, but I guess I can do it if I need to. But and the judge was getting to that point where the judge was just like, oh my god, you're being an a-hole right now, kind of thing. It's like, okay, fine, you're dismissed. Or oh no, the prosecution then strikes that juror as well. Okay. So we'll just do it because he was obviously trying to get himself thrown off the jury. Mm-hmm. And then there's a young woman who comes up, and what's interesting is that I see this man and this woman talking before. Jurors aren't supposed to talk to each other, especially not out in the hall. But here they're sitting down next to each other before we go into the courtroom, and they're sort of like huddling over and talking to each other. So that's on my mind as she gets up. I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. And then the judge asks her the same question, do you think you can be impartial? And her response is, no, I won't be impartial. I don't believe in the justice system. And he's like, wait just a second, what? And he's like, I don't believe in the justice system. I will not find this defendant guilty at all. And the judge was like, wait just a second. So you're saying if the state is able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she committed these crimes, you'd still vote not guilty? And she's like, yeah, because I don't believe in the justice system. And he's like, fine, you're dismissed. And he's just like, get out of here. But it struck me afterwards, when they were talking together, they both didn't want to be on jury duty. It was very clear, and I think that they were scheming to try and say things that would get them thrown out.
What do you think works? I don't know. I think this will work. What do you think?
And so she just got up, and she's just like, I'm gonna spit in your face right now, and I don't care because I don't want to be here. And so that was very interesting. I didn't end up getting called up, and by the end of it, there were 6 of the 16 of us who hadn't been called up. and they had their 6 and their alternate, and so we were sent back out. We had to go back down. At this point in time, we got up there at maybe, I want to say 10 o'clock. We didn't get back till about 12:30. So it was 2.5 hours to select 6 jurors. And that was the only jury trial the entire day at the courthouse. The only jury duty. And so we were there till about 3 o'clock, and the announcement came on the overhead speakers. So an announcement for all of you jurors. It looks as though there's only one jury trial today. Every other case has been settled outside of court, so you are all free to go. And literally, unanimously, maybe there were 50 of us in the room, just went, woo! Hands, fists in the air, we're done. We're done with it. And they're like, thank you for this invaluable service of showing up. And so the deal is now, I cannot be called for jury duty for another year. I'm off the hook of any potential jury duty
for a year. It's not justice. They got to make that like 5 to 10 years.
It's possible that I could never be called again. I mean, it's one of those things. I turned 18 12 years ago, and this is the first time I've been called to jury duty. So, but it's all based on your driver's license, state ID, like the number of times you get. Every time that you get your driver's license renewed, your state ID renewed, you vote. I think those are the 3 things. Your name gets entered into the potential jury pool. Okay. So every time you do it, it's like you're adding a token to the penny jar, and you could be one of those pennies that's pulled out. You could never be one of those pennies that pulled out. I mean, you think of the millions of people who live in Illinois.
Yeah.
You know, the odds of that happening are pretty darn slim. So,
speaking of pennies and slim odds, I remember in high school, I went to a birthday party, and I was with Bill. It was like in the afternoon, and he got like roped into DJing for like $20. Remember when he was like DJ sometimes?
Oh my goodness, DJ dollar bills.
Yeah, he DJed for like $20, and like as a favor. He's like, I shouldn't have done this, but I go with him to help set up the stuff and everything, and it was for like one of our classmates. It wasn't like a kid's party or anything, but we go there in the middle of the afternoon, and we kind of laugh because there was like a jar with a bunch of pennies. You like guess how many pennies is in it.
Yeah.
And him and I look at each other like, what is this? Like a kid's party? Like this is for like a teenager. This is kind of weird. Anyway, I guess whatever the amount is. Bill guesses. At the end of the party, Bill had guessed the exact number of pennies in the jar.
No.
Yes. It was like...
Okay, that's one of those, like, Price is Right scam type things, where it's like, you had to have seen the sheet or something.
No.
There's no way.
No.
The probability...
There's no way he knew. I was with him before the party and after. There's no sheet. They can't... And because when he guessed, I wrote on a piece of paper, and at the end, when he had, like, guessed or something like that, if I remember correctly, actually, we didn't guess, and then they told us later. If I remember correctly, I think I had guessed first, and then Bill made a joke and was like, oh, what, 521 pennies? And Amy's like, looked at him like, wait, what? 521 or whatever the number is. And she's like, how did you know? Like, that's the exact number of pennies. Like, she was so shocked.
Yeah.
At the thing, and Bill's like, huh, 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 huh. He's laughing his ass off. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, he guessed the exact amount. I've never seen that ever, or really anyone come close to guessing stuff like that.
That really does remind me of that famous Price is Right situation when Drew Carey was hosting, and he had a contestant guess the exact showcase.
Really?
Amount. And
that's like up there with a spectator of like a basketball event, like shooting a basket from halfway and like making it.
But you want to know what Drew Carey's response was?
What?
Nothing. He didn't respond at all. He
Really?
didn't say congratulations. He's just like, that's the show, and then they ended it.
Really?
Because his initial reaction was the probability of him getting that number was so small that he must have cheated. And so his initial reaction is, this guy's a cheater, we need to end the show. And so there was no celebration, no like congratulations, like oh my goodness, this is a world breaking event. It was you cheated and we're ending the show. Like right now we're shutting off the cameras basically and figuring out what's going on. Turns out he didn't cheat. He legitimately guessed the exact amount and won. And that moment was ruined because of the perception that he might have cheated. And so Drew Carey was like, I'm not going to get excited because this can't be true.
If you do something ridiculous like that, you have to know that even though it's impossible, there is a tiny probability that that could happen.
Well, it had never happened before, and the instances where people did guess within to like win both showcases or whatever had found out to be cheaters in the past. So there had been a track record of people cheating on The Price is Right before, and so there's precedent to be like this guy's cheating because other people had done similar things and been caught out, and those episodes never aired.
Really?
They pulled those episodes that they found the cheaters, ended up suing them, and that's the end of it.
How did they find that out?
Talking to friends, family, because you have people in the audience, right?
Yeah.
So with technology the way that it is,
they can just look up like
there are many different ways to cheat. Like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? There was all this stuff is on YouTube, but there was a famous instance of a contestant who had his wife in the audience who would cough, like very indiscreetly, but would cough every time that Regis Philbin read the correct answer or whatever, and she was like looking at her phone. It would just be like like that, but she was in the front row, so her husband could hear her cough, but none of the audio picked it up. And so afterwards they did like the zoom and enhance for the audio, and they could hear the coughing every single time the correct letter, Regis read the correct answer, and that's what the husband would guess, and he ended up winning $1 million.
Wow.
And so, again, that was one of those situations where they had the law come after.
Does that guy go to
afterwards.
jail?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
What about the wife? She probably went to jail, too.
I think so. Yeah, conspiracy or something like that.
Man, that is crazy.
So,
somebody that I went to college with who is also super attractive, I think I saw, like, on Facebook that she worked at The Price is Right or did or something like that. I don't know.
Cool story, bro.
I always have to let people know what's on my mind if I'm thinking of things that put a smile on my face. Yep, and that's the episode. No, I'm kidding. Wow, I can't believe that. That's so crazy. Yeah,
if there's a game show that you could go on, what would be your ideal either reality show or game show or whatever?
I probably for sure Price is Right because I just want to spin that wheel like real fucking hard. You know
really? That would be your dream of all the game show and reality shows out there. It would be The Price is Right.
And because too, like I would love to like someone's like I'm gonna guess like if I'm the fourth person, the third person guesses like $1,200. 1,999, like be that guy that
you would totally be that guy.
But I don't know like a whole lot of game shows off the top of my head.
Or reality shows.
I'm not into reality shows.
Amazing Race, The Amazing Race.
If
there is any, that would be my top candidate for reality shows to go on.
That would be cool. Oh, I watched. I've seen some episodes of Naked and Afraid. Have you seen that show?
Ray really wants to go on Naked and Afraid.
Naked and Afraid looks pretty cool.
He really, really wants to show off his like survivalist skills.
Really?
Yes. He talks about it all the time. No
Because they
joke.
just like drop you off like wherever, and you don't realize it, but it's just like horrid conditions. Even if you're on a beach, because you have like nothing to like. You wouldn't
want to be the Bachelor.
No, because all that shit's fake.
I know all reality. I was gonna say it doesn't matter if it's fake.
Hang on. I would do that.
I was gonna say, man.
But the thing is, too, I don't like with say something like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or The Price is Right.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
No, that type of thing is like super temporary. It's just like a flash, you know. Like I would not want to be on a reality show and like have everyone in the country know who I am because I'm on that reality show. That would weird me out.
The center of attention,
yeah.
Because really,
but I would totally date like 30 girls at the same time.
Oh my god. Speaking of sexual harassment, dude, have you have you paid any
The
attention
dam
at
has
all?
broken.
The dam has broken.
The dam has
The
broken.
Me Too dam has broken. Holy cow. And apparently, I'm not on social media, so I don't really know, but apparently the Me Too hashtag is extending even into smaller workplaces. I don't know if you've heard anything about this situation.
But I see on Google what's cool. Google now has like trending, you know, when you're about to search something. So it's like I see that's how I found out about Louis C.K.
Yeah.
That's how I found about Roy Moore. That's how I saw some other thing. Jeffrey Tambor, I think is what his name is. I didn't read the headline though.
Jeffrey Tambor.
But something like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm finding out about all this like stuff
Ben
in the
Affleck.
news.
Yeah.
Is from Google Trending, and ironically not Jerry News, but but yeah, no,
not Screw Curly.
The dam has broken. The dam has broken.
It is. This is bigger than the gay revolution when gay marriage became acceptable across the country. Yeah. This is the fastest social movement I have ever seen, because we are in a place right now where news media believes women. There is no question to the validity of their story. The women who come forward are taken as telling the truth until proven otherwise. Whereas in the past, look at Bill Clinton. Monica Lewinsky was viewed with that lens of skepticism of, is she doing this for political gain? Is she doing this for monetary gain? There's always these motivations. We've gotten to the point right now where there is no question to the authenticity of women's stories anymore, which is shocking for me to hear, because I listen to news all the time, and this is the first time that I can recall where the gut reaction of people is, how do we change male culture, and not, are these women lying? Because in the past, it was always, are these women lying? And now it's, these women are telling the truth. How can we stop men from harassing women? It's crazy. In Congress, too, Al Franken.
Yeah. Al Franken, yeah.
That was a heart to the dagger right there. I mean, he could be the next president of the United States.
It's crazy, too, that these are things that happened years and years
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the question too, right? So I think to myself, and it's one of those things. I'm going to go on a mini rant here.
Go for it. I support you 100%.
I have to say, I can't remember if I had talked to you a little bit about this, but just about the blatant Christian hypocrisy when it comes to this situation. Did I tell you a little bit about that?
Well, Mary was 14 and Joseph was a middle-aged man, so the Bible says it's okay. Alabama. Yeah. I remember.
So a bunch of pastors on yesterday, got together to defend Roy Moore and said the equivalent of, I think one of them actually said verbatim, this is a war on men. That we are entering into a cultural war on men, where the liberal Hollywood elite want to push their socialist agenda down our throats. And when it comes down to it, the reality is women are bigger sexual molesters than men. And so not only do the women who accused Roy Moore need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, but women in general need to be viewed as sexual predators who are the real enemy. And I'm thinking to myself, is this seriously the attitude that millions of Americans adhere to? It's absurd to me. It is so anti-Christian that it just makes my blood boil. Anyone that is the devil speaking right there, my friend. That is the devil preaching to the choir. Oh my God. And but yeah, there is that question of, well, like, you did this thing in the past. You were not good towards women, but what have you done to grow and change since then? Like, that's what I find more worth exploring, is that, yeah, you know what? We all do stupid shit, right? We all make mistakes, but does it become a character pattern of behavior that you basically don't treat people as equals in one form or another? And a lot of times it's women, a lot of times it could be minorities. I mean, whatever the case is, when you're not treating other people with dignity and respect, I think that's pretty indicative of what your soul looks like. And so when I see somebody like Roy Moore just come out and say, all these women are liars and they're horrible people and this is the devil, as I just think to myself, like, he's an embodiment of Satan on earth. Like, he's probably one of the best representations of evil on this earth. And as a Christian, it just makes me so sad to see it. It's not new, right? What he's doing isn't new. Like, people have manipulated Christianity for their own personal gain since the dawn of Christianity itself.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it right. He can say he's Christian all he wants. That doesn't make it true. I can say the earth is flat. That doesn't make it true, right? So, I look at that and I realize there's always going to be this small portion of men who will never accept responsibility, some of whom I'm friends with. Like, I accept the fact that they're not man enough to accept that they don't treat women right, and they have too much pride to ever accept that.
I'm laughing because I think I know who it is, not because, well,
It's somebody who you've never met.
Oh.
The reason why I talk about these instances but don't name them is because I think that they're good anecdotal representations of a situation. I don't condemn that person themselves, that individual themselves, for doing that sort of thing. I understand it's a character defect. I don't hold that against them. I just try to push them towards a better way of life. But I think that those personal encounters for me represent the greater conversational narrative that the country is having. Is like I can totally see how divided people can be on this issue because I'm so close with people who have those opposite issues and reject a lot of these common wisdom things that we're hearing going around right now. Like, naturally, you believe the women. Like, in this day and age, we've come to the point where we believe the women. There are circles within the country where the initial reaction is to say these women are liars and want to hurt men. I more understand that position now because I've had those conversations, and I'm better able to engage people. Like, I still believe that's fundamentally a wrong way to go about it, but at least I know where they're coming from, so I can speak in their language to try and be like, okay, well, let's work through this on a sort of common sense level.
I think sometimes, like, that's a perfect example of what you said. For example, the way that people's minds work in regards to, women or people that are gay or people that are from other countries or whatever. Because sometimes I've been in those scenarios where you hear people and you think to yourself, do you hear the way that you're talking? Are you serious? Like, how is it that you think like this? And for a moment you are judging them, right? Naturally, you're judging them. But then I think to myself, like, okay, I don't hold this ideology that this person has. For a split moment, I think to myself, I'm a better person because I don't think like that. But then I'm like, oh, what is it that I do or say or think that I don't realize isn't the best version of myself?
Exactly. Turning it
which is
inward.
why you can't judge that person the way it is, even though the way that you are perceiving this information, it's apples and oranges. At the same time, like,
yes,
all people have something that they can work on a little bit better.
See,
in their
you
lives.
get it. You are one of those people who get it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's part of the reason why I like being friends with you so much, is because you have such a grounded sense of. I mean, you may not be politically savvy. You may not follow the news very closely, but you've got it right. Like, you're living a life that's admirable. And I think that that's something that's very rare in the society, is people who are living admirable lives, which is you focus on yourself, right? You focus on being the best person that you can be and ignore the noise. And that's the hardest thing to do, because you mentioned that initial reaction to judge, right? I really struggle with that. And part of the reason why I brought it up right now is because if it didn't bother me, I wouldn't be talking about it. So that is my own personal cross to bear, my own personal sin that I have to overcome. And it's like, yeah, I mean, even I talk with these people and I see them as human, I see them as friends, but I still judge them. Like, and I try not to, and I try to like work it through in my own recovery program to be like, okay, what they said or what they did or what their beliefs are really bothers me. But first of all, like, I can't change them. Like, I can only change myself. And secondly, who am I to judge? Like, I got plenty of stuff that I need to improve in my own life. And yeah, to hear you say that the way in your own words is just such a refreshing thing, because that especially with the way that Twitter and Facebook and social media work today, where it's just like you vomit out your thoughts and be like, outraged. What is the... And that's what Philip DeFranco, who's I've talked about a lot, does. It's like, what is the internet angry about today is kind of what his show is about. What is the internet enraged about? And all that rage is condemning whoever for doing something inappropriate.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me that so many people are focused on what other people are doing when your time best spent is the time spent on yourself, like improving yourself and living that fulfilling life, like having fun, enjoying life, like getting out there, experiencing relationships with people. You know, that's the joy of life. That's why I love talking about this sort of stuff, man, because this is just the random experience that is life.
Yeah. I can't believe that we've done this. I was telling someone, they were asking, like, how long you've been doing this or whatever, and I let them know, because I believe it was June 3rd was our very first podcast.
You do a good job at remembering exact dates. I'm very impressed.
Because online it says June 22nd. That's when you started using Podbean as opposed to SoundCloud. But we started, I believe it was June 3rd.
Yeah.
And we've done it twice a week, every week since then.
We've never missed a week, have we?
So it's July, August, September, October. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, July, August, September, October, November. So we're going on five and a half months. And I think there was like that one weird 9-day hiatus where I was in LA and you were doing something else, or we were to Florida. There was some weird thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been twice a week, every week for 5.5 months.
Which, I mean, wow. It really has become routine to me, which is kind of cool.
It's really cool that it's become a habit, because definitely there are times where it's like I'm tired or I don't want to do this or whatever, which it's fine, like let's do this tomorrow, but I think to myself, like, it's Sunday, like, no, we have to have one put out on Sunday.
I feel the exact same way. It's like,
and again, if it's like it's Thursday, like it has to be done by Thursday, and again it has to be done by Sunday.
If we can do it a day early, that's great, but we're not gonna delay, right? Which is why we're gonna try to do a mobile episode in a week while I'm in Minnesota.
Oh, that's right. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, we got to figure out the logistics. We'll see how that ends up going.
We'll do another mobile one at Second City probably in a couple weeks.
Yes, definitely. When your showing's in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I should be back by then.
So what?
I like that sign off.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday again.
Thanks, man.